Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den Podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Hello. Welcome to another edition of Orlando Lions Den Podcast. I think this is our latest episode in the season. Definitely, I mean, while we're still playing, ever, and arguably our biggest episode ever right here. I mean, we played in the Open Cup final, but here we are, gentlemen and ladies that are listening, 2 matches away from hoisting MLS Cup. Orlando City is on to the Eastern Conference final. Got over the Atlanta hump. We're going to talk about it today. Looking to the Red Bull match, and
told you so.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you guys for listening as always. Here at the boys, we got Cleon, who already chimed in. He said it was guaranteed the win against Atlanta.
It's a lock. Told you.
Said it was a lock, and we were all kind of skeptical, you know, with the Atlanta history, and he turned out to be right. It wasn't pretty, but it was a win, 1-0 in regular time. So we'll take it. How you feeling, Cleon, about your prediction and about heading to the Eastern Conference final?
I'm feeling good. That one there, like I already told you, I was already, my mind was already, we were already at the conference finals in my mind. So this one here, I'm not gonna say it's a lock. I ain't gonna say that. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm a little nervous, only because this is the big one, bro. This is gonna be the biggest game we've ever had. Ever. Wait, have the Red Bulls ever made it that far?
I think they've made it to a final back in the day and lost. So
this is definitely and like I said, this is officially our biggest match ever. So from here on out, as long as we're still alive and breathing in these playoffs, it will be our biggest match ever in the history of Orlando City from here on out. So the pressure is going to be insane. So I hope the boys are ready, man. I hope the boys are ready, and I'm ready for it, man. We got to get there, man. I'm already feeling. I'm not even playing, and I'm starting to feel the pressure, bro.
Yeah, I've not. I've never heard the stadium the way it was on Sunday. To be honest, it was electric. It was insane, and all of a sudden, everybody in the whole stadium knew the chants. So it was epic to see. You know, for that last 10 minutes, my section literally felt like I was in the wall. You know, in the thick of the wall too. Full on singing, dancing, cheering, just rooting the boys on. So it was special, you know. So one of those moments as a grown man, you know, you kind of look at yourself getting all teary-eyed, thinking like, man, this is what sports does to you, you know, when you're there and you're in it. So it's why we follow the game. It's why we love it. So we're excited. And like Cleon said, I agree. Biggest match in Orlando City history coming up. Mike?
I will jump in real quick. Since 2008, the Red Bulls have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 times. But they have not made it past that and into MLS Cup since they lost the final in 2008. So there's your update for you. So they're also the only founding, I think the only founding MLS club to have not won a title. So granted, they were the Metro Stars back then, but no, dude, I'm doing great. You know, as you guys probably noticed, if you're watching on video, my background's a little different now. I'm going to get that updated and fixed with Orlando City stuff soon enough, but moved to Colorado. Enjoying it out here. Cold weather, supposed to have some snow tonight, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, was stressful watching the game, but at the same time, beating Atlanta, nothing feels better than that. And beating Atlanta to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's tops. And also watching the messy fan accounts cheering on us, not realizing that Orlando and Miami are rivals, has got to be one of the funniest things I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that was insane to see. But honestly, I was thinking Atlanta on the way out. All the fans. I said, thanks for coming and thanks for beating Miami. We appreciate you. On to the Eastern Conference Finals we go. So, I wasn't rooting for them, but I am definitely not mad that they took out Messi and got us away from that potential matchup to play them at home. So that was much appreciated to the Atlanta faithful. So, Ryder, how you doing up there, down there in Naples, man? You getting ready for a vacation, Thanksgiving? Got a lot
Yep,
going on.
I'm on vacation. I wasn't originally going to come on tonight. I had to, guys. I asked the wife. She graciously said yes. I had to be on this pod because I'm not going to be on next week either way. I'll be in the middle of the ocean somewhere. But oof, you're talking about grown men crying, man. You're talking about stress. No one had a more stressful Sunday afternoon than me because I also was at the same time watching the Bears game where they almost made a comeback. They didn't. They disappointed me. It's like we've talked about the last month or two, Alex. I'd trade that. The Bears could not win another game and I would still be happy as long as Orlando City goes back into their house on Saturday, beats the Red Bulls, goes to MLS Cup, and they hoist that big one. I want this so bad. I want it so freaking bad. And it was so great to just I was sad I wasn't there. I'm sad I haven't made it to some of these important games, but it's just so great to see the stadium so alive again. Like you're talking about being there and feeling the vibe. It came through on TV. Like hearing the chants, seeing the fans waving their towels in that final 10 minutes. I was standing in my living room for the final 15 minutes, just pacing. I was so nervous. And that was the only time I was nervous because we looked good almost the entire match. But it's just such a great thing to be. It'll be our latest match in club history on November 30th. I'm so excited, guys. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, a lot of the Atlanta fans that I saw when we pretty much knocked them out there right at the very end, they were just pointing to the star above the badge, and all I could do was kind of give a little smile, because I was thinking to myself, well, we're two away now. It's the closest we've ever been, and we get to host one of them. So, against a 7 seed, a team that we haven't really played well against, but lately have been doing better against them, and I think it's a favorable match. It's going to be a very similar game as to what we just played, in my opinion. So it'll be we'll talk about that a little bit more, but it's going to be interesting to see if we can do the same thing over again. Let's hop into our sponsors quickly. We got Eddie with Compare an Insurance Agency. Eddie's a family man. He's got a lot going on with the holiday and stuff, but I envision he'll be on next week if and when, either way. I mean, when we win or have to do a review pod, but Eddie will be on, and he's a great guy with us. So hit him up if you need insurance quotes: auto, home, life insurance, pet insurance, renters insurance. If you're paying too much, if you don't know even what you're paying, if your mortgage keeps going up and you don't know why, it's probably because your insurance has gone up, your home insurance. So give Eddie a call, have him shop your policy around, and see if he can help you out and look at your coverages and give you the best return and best advice on that too. We have Leo at the Epic Mortgage Team, powered by You Mortgage. Apply with Leo.com, 407-844-7696. QR code is on the screen for all these guys. But make sure you give Leo a call if you are looking to refinance your house, if you are looking to do cash out refinances, debt consolidation. If you got an interest rate within the last 6 months to a year and you're looking to bring it on down, hit up Leo and he will take care of you. I promise you that. If you're buying a house, hit up Leo to work your mortgage, and also hit up our man Chad McGibbon at Chad McGibbon on Twitter. ChadMcGibbon. QR code is on the screen. He's our Orlando City realtor on behalf of Orlando Lions Den. He can buy or sell your home on your behalf and give you the best deal possible. And fantastic member of the Orlando City community. So hit up Chad, and he'll be more than happy to take care of you. We appreciate him as well. And of course, Hourglass Brewery, had a fantastic watch party with them this year. We didn't get to do it in the playoffs, but we'll definitely be looking to do something again next year with them. Gave us a no mango, no party beer. It was a great turnout. We had an awesome time, and I think that was against the Red Bull, was that match, and we lost 1-0 on the road. And since that
What
match,
happened? What happened since then?
yeah, since that match, we have turned it literally all the way around, and here we are again. So thank you guys at Hourglass Brewery for taking care of us, and we can't wait to collab again in the future.
To be
All
fair, I feel like we would have had tried to have another watch party with them if we had more road playoff games, but I feel like we didn't expect that.
Yeah, there was only really one potential, I guess. So, all right, well, let's talk about it. Victory over Atlanta. We finally got over the hump. Cleon, man, last week had me nervous, but also had me hyped. I can't remember a time where in the pod, in the history that we've been doing this 7 years on, from sitting in a dark room in the back of a pub with an old guy watching crazy films, saying crazy things, to get to the last podcast. I don't remember a time where I was ever as pumped as what Cleon got me last week, saying this is our time, basically, to get over the hump. It's destiny. It's meant to be that we had to beat Atlanta on the way to win an MLS Cup if we're ever going to do it. And he said it was a lock, and we did it. It wasn't quite the easy victory that we had talked about, that we had hoped for, but we got a much deserved first half goal, and needless to say, it changed the game off of a set piece. Ramiro Enrique, scrappy goal, and I mean that was a tale of the tape. That's all we needed. Atlanta had 0 shots on goal. They didn't test Pedro a single time, and I mean it's hard to lose to a team that doesn't register a shot on goal in general. So that's the wonderful part of this game is if you play really, really good defense and you dominate the match like we did, you got a really good chance of winning. So we got our goal, and in the second half it kind of flipped a little bit. We kind of dared them to get a goal. We sat back a little bit, tried to counter. Wasn't too satisfied with the counter opportunities and the way that we actually made them happen. To be honest, we should have had probably 2 or 3 goals, at least 1 or 2 in that second half with Duncan and Luis coming on. But they had to make it a little bit nerve-wracking for us, a little squeaky bum time for sure. So tell me your thoughts. Ryder, I'm going to start with you down in Naples. Tell us what you thought while you're watching it at home, walking around the living room.
The walking around the living room was all the second half, especially, was it Kyle Smith that committed that almost foul? They were going down pretty easy, but this ref let them play. Like, this wasn't one of those matches where everything was getting called. This was a let the boys play match, and we took advantage of it. Yeah, we should have gotten more goals. The Facundo's shot off the post early in the match, and then no, it was I keep saying Vanderwater. Dagger, was it Dagger off the post? I've done that like 3 times this year. Dagger off the post, and then Facundo follow up, or the other way around. How did that not go in? How did that not go in? How did one of those not go in and just give us that early lead? Doesn't matter. Ramiro showed up. I said it on Den After Dark, and I'll say it again. He's been a little cold in the playoffs, and he gets that gritty, scrappy goal when it meant the most. And watching him celebrate that was everything I needed to see from him and from the team. This team is believing. They believe they can do this. And we're talking about defense. Like, that's all we needed was 1 goal. This was the Poppy special of all Poppy specials. And we weren't even we didn't bunker so much as we just played smart defense. There was 1 play that was not smart, and everything else is we're getting it out of the box. We're moving it up slowly. We're running the clock down. And it worked. Atlanta was tired. They had 2 injuries in the match, including that nasty concussion early in the second half. And that's all she wrote. Like, I don't want to see players get injured, but having the deep bench that we have, I mean, we brought Duncan and Moriel on in the second half, and they weren't even all that great. They looked just a step off from each other when they were working back and forth, because they work well together when they do that little line shift. And even then, we survived. The defense did good. Janssen actually had some great tackles. He had a couple great slide tackles in this match. It's just nice to see us look so confident and play smart ball. And that's what we needed for this match. And we got the job done. We beat Atlanta. We're over the hump. It's just nice to see.
I agree. Cleon, tell me what you were thinking at the last 30 seconds of the match when we turned the ball over. And I mean, to me, I was thinking, here it is. Here it is. Were you as confident as you were in the pod last week?
Honestly,
last 30 seconds?
Honestly, I never felt threatened in any way, shape, or form during that match from start to finish. At no point did I think they was going to win or even come back with a late goal to tie it up. Nothing. Like I've never felt more sure of a victory, except for that Sacramento Republic final. That's the only other one. Even when we went down, and I knew it was going to be a rout. You could just tell, and then especially when they had both of their strikers went out. Oh man, I was like, yeah, it's supposed to go down. Like they're done. You know what I mean? I said it from the beginning. It's just. I said it earlier. I definitely feel more nervous the closer we're getting, because it's, we just have to win the one, then we're in the finals, and you get there, then you just have to win the one and you're the champion. You know what I mean? So while I do feel nervous for the upcoming game and possibly two, during that one, no, I never at any point felt that they were gonna even take us through penalty kicks. Nothing. From the start, it was a wrap for me.
Yeah, they had the ball in the box in that last play of the game, and I was thinking to myself, man, there ain't no way.
It's the trauma. Right? It's the trauma from all the times they've done that.
It wasn't going down, bro. It wasn't going down. I'm telling you, like it was the same way how Atlanta had to get in to be the one team that could take out Miami, because Miami was the one team they couldn't beat all year. To the way I feel it's crazy, because I'm not trying to put juju out or nothing like that, but everything leading the way everything has happened from that last game of the regular season all the way through to Atlanta taking out Miami, us running through Atlanta, and all of a sudden we have home field all the way through, things like that. It absolutely 100% just seems like it's certain things just have to fall your way. Just like with that Open Cup, everything just fell our way. We had the home field the whole way through, everything. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like, and it's weird, because it's like I've seen this before, like with other sports and things like that, and it's just like when teams just seem destined, like where things are just happening, and luck is going the way, and everything's just happening for them. You know what I mean? Everything's going for them. We go to the shootout with Charlotte, the second one, and everything goes right. You know what I mean?
Everything is coming up Orlando.
Yeah. And then I watched that LA Galaxy game, and they look friggin' insane. And it just seems like it's us, man. It really does. And it's weird that I'm saying that, because I tell you, I feel the closer we get, the more nervousness and things like that I can feel. And I feel extremely nervous about this game coming up. If we get to the next one after that, then there'll be even more. But it's so far, it looks like it's our story for me.
Yeah, right.
You just got to finish the story.
Couldn't say it better, and that's kind of what you were telling us last week. And you just got to have stuff going in your way, So now we got to play the team that knocked out the team that beat us last year, and luckily we get to play them at home, and I'm sure it'll be sold out unless all those $6,000 corner seats don't get brought down. Then we'll see from all the ticket scalpers, but that's a whole pod for a whole nother day. But we'll see how it goes, and I'm excited, man. I agree. It's our time, or maybe who knows when we have this opportunity again. We've been great. We've had great seasons, especially the second half of seasons. And last year we were the hottest team, with Columbus going into the second half or into the playoffs. This year we're the hottest team going into the playoffs. And I've said it many a times. Last year we were couple different literally inches away from, I think, winning it all last year. So this is our time to do it. I was looking at it last night or at the game on Sunday, and I was thinking to myself, man, like, this is where the experience came in. Like, last year hurt. Last year was painful, and every time we've been in the playoffs, it's been painful under Poppy. But I really felt like the experience on Sunday gave us the edge, having Jansen back there, even Slagle back there. So Vilder and Cesar both are experienced now in the playoffs, and Faku's starting to turn it up. So I think the experience has really begun to help us out. And then, with Muriel coming in, these are the type of games that he lives for, even if he's coming in off the bench. He's got the experience too. So, experience isn't an issue for us like it has been in the years past. Even going into this conference final, in my opinion, we're going to be the more experienced team compared to all the guys on the Red Bull. So, Mike, you're in the middle of a move. You're able to watch the match. I know it was nerve-wracking.
I mean, I watched the match. I didn't have my furniture yet, so I watched it sitting on an air mattress. I had a TV that we had just bought propped up on 2 folding chairs. So that was our college man TV like setup. But pure joy.
You have to pull the folding chairs out in the air mattress again on Saturday. You got to watch it the same way. I don't make the rules.
Okay,
just like Cleon's battery.
I still have the TV set up in the basement with and the folding chairs are down there, so I can easily make that work.
Sounds good.
Dude, no, like I said, there's no better feeling than beating Atlanta, and I just want to give a real shout out here before doing like stock up and stock down like we always do, just to Enrique, because I don't know if you guys remember, the cause of that corner kick was Enrique just being a pest, which is one of the things that he's best at. That was a cross that was going into Guzan's hands, uncontested on the end line, and Ramiro just decided to go ahead and make a run, jump up and contest it. Guzan got his hands to it, but because Enrique was there, he fumbled it out of bounds for the corner kick, and then we scored immediately after that when the ball fell to Enrique's foot. He's so good at getting into good positions and also getting into annoying positions to affect the defense, get the goalkeeper off of his game, stuff like that. And, it's one of those things that it's an unsung thing that often will get missed. And I just want to give him his praise and his flowers for that. But for me, the biggest thing, like Cleon said, he didn't feel worried. He didn't feel stressed. We allowed no shots on target. Like nothing on frame. Pedro had no saves to make, and surprisingly still didn't get a yellow card, even though half of our team got fined because Derek Williams elbowed Faku in the back of the head.
Where's the GoFundMe, man?
If you get fined for checking on your teammate and fighting for him after he gets popped in the back of the head purposely and he doesn't get a card, I understand, but anyways, I digress. But no, this feels like this is the time, this is the moment. We got something special right now in the air. I think the Orlando Pride started it, and I don't think that Orlando's done yet. I think Orlando City can finish it. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
Shoot, even the Magic have won 9 out of 10 since Paulo went out. I mean, the city of Orlando is on a tear right now.
Yeah,
No
we're
doubt about it.
trying to make Orlando a sports city. You know, obviously being in Denver now, dude. Denver is a much better sports city than I thought that it was going to be. Like, there's sports stuff everywhere, people in sports stuff literally everywhere. I look at Orlando, I'm like, man, Orlando as a sports city, it's being the fact that we just have NBA and MLS and NWSL. It pales in comparison, but like, this is the kind of stuff that turns Orlando into a sports city. Like, the runs that all these teams are on right now, this is how that happens and how it gets better. And I'm so excited for that.
Yep, for sure. All right, stock up and stock down. Who wants to start it off? Cleon, you want to go first?
Yeah, stock up. I'll go with our defense, man. I'll go with our defense. We're stout. We're stout, bro. I mean, I know them losing both of the strikers definitely helped. But you don't even get a shot off? No. That's the way we gotta be to continue this on. I'll definitely like to get a little, more shots on goals for ourselves in the process. But yeah, definitely stock up for our defensive solidity right now. Stock down. Nothing. I got nothing for you right now, bro. I can't even go stock down on the crowd because I mean we finally ran maybe stock down on the amount of seats we got because apparently a sellout is 15,000 100 or something like that or whatever they said it was. I don't know where the 500 other extra seats went, but I don't know. Maybe our stock down is for our capacity.
They took out a whole section and put in like 14 bar chairs. So
that wasn't 500 seats.
500 in that corner, bro. That corner I sit right next to it. It was not. Is nowhere near. Then there might have been 150 over there, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was the NYCFC fans that stole a seat out of our stadium?
Oh yeah.
Maybe they stole it. I don't know.
Yeah, that was in the first ever match. Yeah, I agree with the stock up. I mean, I think I really enjoyed watching Rafael Santos this game just be dangerous on the left side. You know, really kind of pushing the envelope on and making him become a problem for most of the match, honestly. So I enjoyed seeing that. And I mean, like Mike was saying, the cross that came in where Enrico was just a pest. That was just a deflection off of another Santos cross. So it was fun. It's been fun to watch him play. My stock down. I mean, there's two I could give it to. I think Ojeda's got to be one of them. Just hasn't really been, as effective as we need him to be. He's that, for firing on mostly all cylinders. He's the reason that we have to say mostly, because if he was kicking it right now, we'd be on a whole nother level. But hopefully we get him, or honestly Duncan, man. Duncan's been really, the last few matches has not been able to convert those late game goals that we expect him to convert and put it into 2-0 or even 3-0. The goals that he gets that are the easy ones, taking advantage of the defense. He's just kind of been fumbling the bag. But two guys, Duncan, I have more faith in over Ojeda to get it right. I think he'll get it right no matter what. But I do think both of them will get it right on Saturday. And even if Ojeda, the reason I don't worry too much about Ojeda is because Muriel has really, seems to have found that 10 spot just fine and that chance creation. So if we need him, I think we'll be all right. If Ojeda can't get it together, in my opinion. Mike?
For me, my stock up, I'm going to go to Mr. Wilder Cartagena. Because when he went to go home and got done in the locker room and emptied out his pockets, he probably found a 6-foot-tall Russian in there. Because their big signing that they got to replace Thiago Almada and to replace Georgios Giacomakis, Baranchuk did nothing. And you could tell that it seemed like Cartagena was kind of shadowing him and sticking with him, but he rendered him completely ineffective the entire game. the best chance that he got was a header that went 5 feet over the bar in the final 5 minutes. And I'm sorry, but if that's what you give up, you take that 10 times out of 10. So shout out to Cartagena for that. I'm going to be nitpicky when it comes to my stock downs, and I'm going to echo Alex on the first one is Dunk. It's one of those things that he had a couple opportunities to go ahead and finish off the game. And the ball just kind of got caught under his foot, or just small mistakes were being made that I feel like could have been avoided. And my second stock down is just, I want this to be more of a motivating factor, is Facundo Torres. I felt that he could have been much better in this game. A lot of sloppy touches early on, especially. I think that he had some fine moments later on, but you're a club record signing. You are the MVP of the team this year. We need him to be the dog on Saturday, the dog that we know he can be, the dog that he's been against Red Bulls before. This has got to be a game where I want a Facundo Torres moment coming up to send it home. We know he's capable of it. He's been a guy who shows up and get big games for us. I'm happy that we were able to have some of those guys kind of miss in this big of a game, and it didn't affect us. But I need those guys to still show up in those big games. So Facundo Torres, I expected more out of you in this game. And Duncan McGuire, I need you to finish those chances and just be smarter with your footing, because he had so many opportunities that, getting in on a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 or something like that, where you just expect him to get it done, and he didn't. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
And I got faith in Duncan, honestly.
Me too.
I think if we're in that same position, I think he'll bag one, maybe even two, if we can get an early lead again and bring him in. But he got paid and he's on the bench, so it's kind of a weird situation for sure for Duncan. But it's one of those situations where as just a human being, not an athlete or a professional athlete or anything, but as a human being, you got to decide what you want. You got to decide who you want to be. You want to be the guy that gets paid, get your $1 million contract and then kind of tapers off, or you want to be the guy that gets a $1 million contract and is still not satisfied. So, but I know personally, if I went from making $80,000 to making $1.2 million, I'd be kind of a little lax for a couple weeks, but hopefully
give it a little bit more,
You'd sit on the bench if that's what coach wanted.
Hopefully it gets a little, he turns into that Duncan that we know, that's got a chip on his shoulder and just wants to smash everything that comes his way. So, Ryder, what you got?
I'm gonna give a rare one. I'm gonna give Ramiro his flowers, but I'm gonna do it through Oscar, because I was skeptical. I've already said it on Den After Dark and at the top of the show. He's been a little cold in the playoffs, and I was nervous that starting him was going to be a problem, but Oscar stuck with him. He stuck with his guns. He didn't go to Duncan, and he didn't go to Moriel. He stuck with his guns, and it paid off. And it paid off in a big way. He got a big moment, and I think Oscar actually deserves some credit for sticking to his guns, not fixing things that weren't broken, and going with it. So, stock down, you got to be nitpicky, but I will echo what Mike said about Facundo. He looked off. He looked like a player that had been on international duty this week. He just looked like he was just a step off and didn't have those crisp touches, those crisp shots. And that's okay, because he's going to show up for this moment. I agree with everything Mike said, so I won't repeat him.
Yep. Let's hope. Let's hope these guys play the way that we know they could play. I totally forgot that we took 2 weeks off with the international break, so that kind of makes it a little bit more soothing that it was such a gritty game,
It just made the timing of my move work out that much better, that in the middle of the playoffs, so I wasn't moving. I got the international break for the move.
Just take credit that's how you planned it all along, right?
Yeah, totally. That's exactly when my lease ended, actually. So.
we had a bunch of guys. We always have a bunch of guys go. So yeah, I think that that could have had an effect too. But yeah. All right. Should we talk about the Pride next? Let's talk about the Pride, and then we'll get to the Eastern Conference Final. The Orlando Pride. We'll just talk about them, give them a shout out quickly, and give them their praises. Seb Hines, Barbara Vanda, and Marta leading the team. Marta had some great quotes. You could see the release of the pressure as she celebrated the victory, 1-0 in Kansas City. And it really has, I think, sparked this Orlando City squad, to say, why not us? This could be our year all around. The women's team just got it done. It's not easy to be the dominant team in the regular season, only lose one game, which was a game that really punted, and then go into the actual playoffs, win or go home and get it done. So super impressive for me. Cleon?
Yeah, I watched the championship match. It was man, the girls been fighting. The girls been fighting all year, man, and it's impressive when you follow through, because a lot of times you will see when teams they kind of get used to dominating like that, where they basically just went through the entire regular season basically undefeated until they clinched the Shield. And then I think they lost like 2 out of the last 3 games that left or something like that. And you maybe get a little worried. Okay, maybe they think they already did it. They already got there. And the job is done. but no, man, they had the Shield. They said, let's rest up for the playoffs, and that's what they did. And they came out and did exactly what on paper you're supposed to do. And that's rest your people up for the playoffs and go back hard as soon as the playoffs start, and win and be exactly that same team you were doing the regular season and run through people. A lot of times you'll see, just like we just saw with Miami, literally set a record. They literally set a record for points in the season, then get knocked out by the lowest seed in history. With the ninth, with the introduction of these wild card games. So I mean, you do see letdowns like that with teams that are supposed to be basically unbeatable. When they go through the regular season, they win that first little trophy, and they think the job is done. So for them girls to follow through and hold up, and it's so good to see, like, especially like with Marta, man. People don't hang around anymore, man. They just don't. Like back, and I don't want to sound like an old timer, but like back in my day, it used to happen all the time. Like guys will get drafted to a team or whatever. They'll stay there. They're like, big time stars. They'll stay there, and it's either I'm going to win a team, I'm going to win one with my team, or I'm going to retire without one. You know what I mean? And nowadays with the age of like people just running to join up, creating super teams and make it easier for themselves. Like it's refreshing to see. With all the changes that we kept going through, you see Alex Morgan here and she's gone, and then all the stars we had, name stars, the amount that you saw come and go, and weren't willing to fight through the struggle. It's refreshing to see a little bit of that old school mentality where it's I'm gonna either stay here as long as it takes, or I'm gonna die trying. You know what I mean? And even myself, when I see the amount of names they're going through, and every time, okay, we're bringing Marta back, we're bringing Mike. She was the oldest one, so it was like, a little shocking. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, dang, they keep bringing Marta back. But no, I guess they kept bringing her back because she was the only star willing to fight it out.
She still got it though, man.
Well, she's too.
She's still a dog.
Too, but yeah,
that goal scored in the semifinal.
Yeah. Too, but I mean, it takes, there's a lot of people that have the talent, but there's just, once they lose the will, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna do nothing for you, but she still had that dog in her, bro.
I will say, just because Alex, you mentioned the semifinal goal, I was driving. I think at the time I was actually driving across Kansas, funnily enough, during that. And I brought up the Evan Weston radio call on my phone to play through my car as I was doing that. And Evan Weston, shout out to Evan, friend of the show. We love you, bud. His call of Marta scoring that goal, he went ballistic. And deservedly so. He called it the best goal that's ever been scored at Inter&Co Stadium, and it's kind of hard to argue with that. It is. I would say it's top 3, and I could tell you it ain't 3. That's for sure. It possibly ain't 2. Heck of a goal, and I'm gonna just take this as my opportunity to talk. Sorry,
real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Because I'll forget it. I'll forget it by the time you finish. You know what's crazy? We've seen that goal before. It just wasn't for us.
Yeah.
You know who did it, right? You remember? You don't remember Joseph?
Yeah, no, it was his record-breaking goal.
And he left the ball on the ground like that?
It was his record-breaking goal where he chipped in at the end.
I hated it, bro. I hated it. That was one where he broke the record, it was Marta. Marta basically did the exact same. It was the exact same. It was just another thing. But exact same thing. It was on the reverse end. It was on the reverse end too.
Yeah. The only other Orlando goal that
Joseph did the exact same thing, and I hated it.
The only Orlando City goal that I think that I would put up in the same regard would be the goal that Nani scored against the New England Revolution on Matt Turner specifically, where he turned the defense inside out twice outside the 18 and then beat him from that far out. That's the only other one.
Off the chest, one-timer.
The Kaká one off the chest.
That was a good one too. That's a good one too. My favorite Kaká Orlando City goal though is
Wilder in the playoffs
against Atlanta,
like 4.
But yeah, when Evan said that, I was like, yeah, the only goal that I can see even competing with that was Kaká off the chest. Was it the other legendary Brazilian number 10?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, no, the 2 things that I want to say about this is first, I want to give a shout out to honestly ownership in the front office for their patience with the Pride. Since the new ownership group came in, they've kind of given them time to actually build the team. Seb Hines has done a great job. Player identification has done a great job when it comes to scouting, making trades, and bringing in outside acquisitions. The Pride realistically were the laughingstock at NWSL for the past few years. To then go to be a record-breaking Shield-winning team and then winning the double, which is something that, if I recall correctly, has never been done before in the league. They are currently the gold standard team right now of the best team in league history in NWSL. So no one, for the time being, no one can take that away from them. And I want to give props to ownership, the front office, and how they've built that team out. Because they deserve all of the praise in the world, considering where they were, similar to where we were before Oscar Pareja came in. And the other thing that I want to do is a little shout out to Oscar Pareja and Dagger Dan for them giving quotes after the game against Atlanta, saying that, I think Alex mentioned this earlier, the Pride team is inspiring them, saying, why not us? We saw what they did. We want that feeling. So shout out to the Pride for not only obviously doing what you did, winning this, but also for motivating the men, telling them that they got to do this too. They know that they can do it as well. So I want to see City do it for the Pride. I want to see them do it for the city of Orlando. I want to see everyone do it, but I can't give enough props to the Pride, the front office, the ladies, the players. Like, everything's been phenomenal from that side of the organization this year, and they deserve every bit of praise that they're getting right now.
Yeah, I want a championship parade. Another one in about 2 weeks would be awesome.
Bro, a lot of people showed up yesterday. That was so great to see.
Yeah, I was watching on TV. It was awesome to see. Ryder, you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, the Pride were unbelievable this year. They breaking that record, not pulling a Miami, pulling a New England Patriots, and choking in the playoffs. They got it done. And shout out to them. Shout out to Seb Hines. Seb Hines, this is going to be a weird sentence, and I'll honestly put it aside because just for a moment, if Marta isn't, because it's unclear if she's coming back. She gave a quote that this might be her last hurrah, and it would be a great way for her to go out. And if she doesn't immediately get put on the other side of that Legends banner, and we've got Kaka on one side and Marta on the other, I don't know what we're doing. And then in the same breath, if you would have told me that there's a chance that Seb Hines is going to be on that list and honestly would deserve it, I would have told you were nuts a couple of years ago. I would have told you there's no way that he belongs there for what he did for Orlando City. And he stuck it out. He was an assistant coach. He got elevated as interim manager during a tough time, and they made him permanent, and he ran with it. And he's done such a good job with this team. He's been patient. He's been loyal, and he gets mad props. And I think he's kind of gotten into the organizational legend because of this. And I think that's awesome.
Yo, Alex, how crazy is that? Alex Ryder, how crazy is that when you sit back, like how you just said, when you sit here now and you're like, and you go back to 2017, 18, and you're looking at some of the players on the field, right? And you're like, and someone taps you, says, "Hey, I'm from the future. Seb Hines and Giles Barnes are going to deliver you a championship in this city."
And just
that's nuts to think about.
They're going to win a double. They're going to win a double for the Pride. And like you're saying, in 2017, the Pride were not good. Or no, 2017, 2018, they were not good. They were an upstart team. They were just coming into the league, and it wasn't going well so far. And yet they got it done. Like, seeing those two come from Orlando City to just elevate the Pride. Like, don't get me wrong. They're just out there coaching. The players are out there just balling out. Like, is it Banda or Banda?
Banda.
That goal, man. She played her heart out, and you gotta love it for that. It's a crazy world we live in, and I want to complete it, but we'll get to that.
All right, let's get to it. Semifinals, or semifinal for the MLS Cup, Eastern Conference Final for all the marbles here, for the right to go play in LA or Seattle. Am I going to say it? Who's going to say it?
I'll say it.
Go ahead, Cleon.
It's happening. We're going to the finals. I can't even say how. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be close. I don't know if we're going to penalties, bro. But we're going to the finals, man.
Listen, I know. We talked about it last week, but last time we had a chance to go to a cup final, we had one team to get through.
Red Bulls.
And it was one of the most electric games in Orlando City history, even with only, 15,000 people there.
Didn't we blow them out?
The pouring rain, 5-1.
5-1.
And we went down first, technically. We went down 1-0, a Lewis Morgan goal, and then scored 5 straight.
Yeah, that was it. That was the last time we had a chance to go to a cup final, and here we are again, a couple years later, and it's all to play for, man. New York Red Bull at home. Cleon, you got us going through. You want to tell us how we're going to go through? What's your prediction on that?
I just said, bro. Like I
don't give scores. He didn't give scores last time.
I already have the nervous energy. And things like that. I don't know how we're going to do it. I really don't. But it's going to happen. We're supposed to be there. I just feel like we're supposed to be there.
Ryder?
3,000 from Saturday, this coming Saturday, it will be 3,354 days since Kyle Larin scored a hat trick against the New York Red Bulls. 9 years and change. We're going through. We will be playing for the MLS Cup final in just under 2 weeks' time. The stars have aligned too much for us. This is way too similar to the Open Cup. This is way too similar to how things have just lined up for us, and the players are responding. I don't think anyone had a horrible performance this week. Everyone's firing on cylinders. There's players that can improve. We talked about that earlier, but these guys are going to show up because the fans are already showing up. The stadium's basically sold out, except for, like you said, the scalpers, but they'll figure that out. This team can beat the Red Bulls. I have no doubt about that. We lost to them earlier in the season. That was a whole different team. That was a whole different season. This team can do it. And here's my prediction. 4-1, Orlando City goes through, and Facundo Torres sets that counter back to 0. He gets a hat trick.
Mike?
So I got two things. First, I'm going to take a look at things analytically, and then I'm going to speak from the heart a little bit. So in the last 5 games, New York Red Bulls have not exceeded 36% possession. Guys, they're going to let us have the ball, and they do not care. They're going to try and beat us on the counter, and they're going to try and beat us on set pieces. The thing is, one of their biggest people on set pieces is Sean Nealis. He left with a concussion substitution against New York NYCFC in the last week. So there is a likelihood he will not be able to play. So set pieces are a worry because we're not the best team in the air realistically. We do all right, but I wouldn't say that it's the strongest point of our game. But they're going to let us possess the ball. They're going to let us do what we want with it. They're known for being stout defensively, but so is Charlotte. We got past them. Atlanta, they bunkered in. We just got to finish our chances. That's all this game comes down to, is finishing your chances, because if you're going to be having – dude, literally I looked at it. There was one of the games against Columbus. They had 22% of possession. Like, they're going to sit back and let you beat them, let you try to beat them. That's what the game is. Generate chances, finish those chances. Same starting lineup. I don't see anything changing.
No.
But my second point, where I'm going to speak from the heart a little bit. Oscar Pareja is one of the, whether you were a Poppy in guy, a Poppy out guy, does not matter. Oscar Pareja is one of the best coaches in league history, but he's always going to be slightly below the top guys unless he wins an MLS Cup. I said it on Den After Dark. I've said it a couple times. Oscar Pareja's white whale, if Moby Dick reference, if you're familiar, is the MLS Cup. He's won everything else that there is to win. He's won supporter shields. He's won Open Cups. The year that he had a record-breaking team with FC Dallas, he ended up having catastrophic injuries at the end of the season that they made it to MLS Cup and failed. I cannot in any world see Oscar Pareja telling his men that anything other than you guys need to go out and dominate. And that's what I think this team is going to do. I think Pareja is motivated. I think the guys on the team are motivated to win this for him. Like I said, he's going to go down as one of the best coaches in league history. He's already up there, but if he doesn't win MLS Cup, he's never going to reach the heights of those other names. This is the best opportunity that you will ever get, potentially. Everything fell into your hands. The top 3 teams in the East and the top team in the West all eliminated already. You got to go and get this done. And on this preview pod, if you think that there's a snowball's chance in hell that I'm going to pick against our team, you got another thing coming. Orlando City is going to beat the Red Bull. I have it 3-0 by my account, because they are just going to start throwing numbers forward after we have a 1-0 lead, and we are just going to go ahead and bury them on the counter because that's where Coronel ends up being at his weakest. And their defense will be a little bit slow, and especially if Noah Isles in instead of Sean Nealis, if he is out with concussion. Noah Isle has not been good playing in a back 3. Extra Time mentioned that on their episode that came out this week. I think that's something that we would look to exploit. Give me goals, a goal from Facundo Torres, of course. And I'm going to go ahead and get goals from late substitutions from Duncan McGuire and Luis Muriel. That's my prediction. 3-0 City, doing it for Poppy. Oscar Pareja, this is your chance to be one of the best.
Damn, Mike, you got me crying over here. I'm a little teary-eyed.
My message is to the fans. Show up, show out, be loud, scream your heart out. Don't leave with a voice. Hug people you ain't never seen before. High fives with everybody around you. Because we waited 10 years for a game like this. These games don't come around often. And who knows when we'll get another one. Doesn't matter what sport you enjoy the most. If you're an Orlando City fan, this is your team's, this is the Magic in Game 7 in the conference finals. This is a conference championship game. It's not the Open Cup either. No shade to the Open Cup, but this is the big one. We talked all year. We talked for 8 years on this show. This is the one that gets you the star above the badge that you get to wear forever. Forever. Every new kit that comes out, every new kit that you buy, this is it. We get that. They don't take the star away from you. So enjoy the match. Show up. Be loud. Scream. Shout. Because we got to enjoy every minute of it. And if we're enjoying ourselves, I think the rest will come. 5-1. Because history likes to repeat itself. That's why. That's the only reason as to why. And I agree with Mike. If we get up, it's gonna be chances like we had last week to add goals, and I think we're not gonna miss them 2 weeks in a row. So, I agree with that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a banger from somebody like Ojeda, Cartagena, maybe even Cesar finally gets one in there. And maybe a penalty goal. But I don't know how we're going to get the goals, but we're going to get them, and we'll be on. I don't care where we play. LA, Seattle, Antarctica, Greenland, Mars. I'll be there. So let's get through it. Let's get through it on Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Get there early. If you're sitting in the wall, I will be in the wall. Standing in the wall. I'll be there with a big group of people. I only got 4 tickets, and I got a lot more people than 4 that want to go to this one. So sold my tickets, and we're going in the wall. If you're going to be in the wall, scream, shout, and get there early. And everybody get there early. Don't wait for traffic. We got to show the boys we're ready to go. So let's get it done. Let's get it done, boys. Let's talk. Yeah.
I was just going to echo you because one of my best life experiences is being in the wall for the U.S. Open Cup win. Especially there, I hugged people I've never seen before. We were crying, grown men, crying, loving our team. Be there, like you said, just be present, enjoy the moment, be loud as hell. Give Emil Forsberg every bit of pain of his wife leaving him that you possibly can.
I think it was the other way around, but
no. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess a little bit of both. Honestly, that was messy on social media. But anyways, no, you gotta give this game everything. There's nothing left to sit around for. The players are going to need to feel everything they can from the fans, and everything Alex said is 100% right. Got to go out.
Yeah, it's kind of better. I mean, we all wanted Minnesota to pull the miracle and so we could host the MLS Cup, but it's kind of better, right? I mean, now that we know that we can't host it, this is it. This is you can't save. There's not. Let me save it for next week in case we win. This is it right here.
It's all
leave with no voice. Leave with no voice. Hug people. I mean, shoot, Mike, you're talking about that happy memory. That's the day we met. That was the first time you and I met, and look at us a couple years later. I was the bald sap crying. Oh,
time for more tears on Saturday. More tears, happy tears.
Please.
Yeah, when I host Den After Dark after this game, hopefully probably more like 45 minutes after this game, because there's going to be an Eastern Conference Trophy presentation. Every single one of you that comes on, I want your voice to sound like Doc Rivers.
Whether you're in the stadium or not.
I want everybody to sound raspy. So
I'll be sounding like RFK Jr. for sure.
Without the brainworm.
Yeah, brainworm not included.
We got any shout outs quickly? Anybody want to go first?
I want to go ahead. I'm going to give shout out to our commish here, Cleon, trying to snipe a trade on trade deadline day in the fantasy league. misread the messages, and after me and our boy Matt completed the trade, he's like, "So what you want for him?"
Allegations. False allegations.
I do want to go ahead. No, realistically though, I want to give a shout out to Cleon. Obviously, I'm making the joke there, but this has been one of the most fun fantasy football league seasons I think I've ever had, because this is the first year that we implemented a relegation and in a second league that gets promoted, because pro rel for USA, clearly. Kidding. Not really. Pro rel for fantasy football. But guys, it's a 14-man league. I've never seen as many trades for people trying to either avoid relegation or just like to bolster their team to go on a championship run.
Bro, I tried to count it. I tried to count the trades that happened from last week to now, and I stopped at 14.
Are we talking successful trades or just trades that have been proposed?
Successful trades.
God. I mean,
Yeah.
if you just include Graham and just
Graham's gonna have like 50 by himself.
Graham does. He even said every single player on his team has been traded. I think he's only got one person left on his roster that he drafted. Everybody else is gone. Like,
Graham traded Bijan and then got him back.
Yeah, somehow. Which
he's not the only one.
Yeah. Cleon
JJ
traded Tyreek and got him back.
I mean, I'm still, shout out to Matt for trading me Amon Ra. That might be something that gets me a run. And also shout out to Daryl taking an L for the first time this past week. Keep taking L's if it means Orlando City wins the title. So, but seriously, shout out to Cleon. This has been a super fun fantasy season, and I know you had to oversee both leagues
for you guys.
So yeah, well, yeah, for us. Sorry, Alex.
And he's technically playing in both.
Praying for you.
I'm battling. I'm like Everton right now. Last couple of years, just trying to survive.
Got a points deduction in there, like
6 straight L's, man.
Speaking of, I know I didn't just lock just now, but I'm gonna call it right now. This is my first ever fantasy football lock. JJ's getting relegated. It's a lock. It's a lock. It is a lock. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't care what you got to do. It's a lock. He is gone. Appreciate you, JJ. OG. But yeah, bro. Good luck in League 2 next year.
Is that your shout out, Cleon?
Yeah, that's my shout out. But my bad. But you know what? Something's not sitting right with me, so I got to get it off my chest.
Oh God,
something's not sitting right with me. Oh, before I even get to that, yeah, I knew y'all still. Second shout out. I want to shout out Alex right over there, the thoughtful guy he is. I knew it was him as soon as it showed up. I said Amazon showed up at my house. There was some batteries. Because I already knew it was him. Right off the bat, I had to hit him up. Be like, I know this was you. I know this was you, Alex. And yeah, it was. Just like I said. But I know you also hear that beep in the background. Because as far as I'm concerned, that alarm has been beeping since we started this run. And guess what? As far as I'm concerned, that's our heartbeat. And as long as that beep is going in the back, we still alive.
So, can I ask you something?
The only time you're not going to hear that beep is if we ain't won that damn championship yet, or that we've been eliminated. Then I'll change the battery. How about that?
If we win it all, is the battery going in like a trophy case or something? That's the real question I need to know.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't even know what the battery looked like because I've never changed that battery ever. It's beep. It's beep. Once I tried to look at the thing and try to figure out how to even open it.
Did I even send you the right batteries? I sent you nice 9-volt batteries, but what if it's
I don't think so because it's actually not the alarm that's up in the ceiling. It's actually let me see where I got point. See that right there? Where I got my finger? That's my alarm, the system that's on the wall. That's actually what's beeping.
That's not your smoke detector.
I never said it was smoke detector. I said it was the alarm. That's what it is. It's it right there. It's beeped. It's beeped. I don't know. This has happened about 3-4 times. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I never changed it. It didn't bother me. My kids don't even hear it no more. They said, what you talking about? What beep? The only one that used to bother was my Puerto Rican wife. It used to bother her, but she ain't in the house, so it's still beeping. So she used to change it. So I don't even know how to change it, bro. I don't even know what the thing is at. I don't even know how you pop it open. So I don't know. Maybe you sent me the right batteries. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it's one of those small ones. Who knows? I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, that thing's gonna keep beeping as long as we're still alive. That is our heartbeat. You know, like when you see somebody and they laid up, maybe they in a coma, maybe their eyes open, but you still hear that beep, so you know they're not dead yet. So as long as you hear that beep, you know we're not dead yet. So it's gonna ride. Anyway, now that we got past that part, I'm gonna get to what I was about to say. That was bothering me in my soul. I really don't like the way, because I said we was gonna win, but I really don't like that. I ain't really stand on business with that. I really didn't. I said, yeah, we gonna win, but it was almost like when somebody say they gonna win, but you look in their eyes and you see a little bit of fear. I don't know what just happened. I don't know why that little bit of fear was there, but it's gone now. And them boys in the body bag. And I just realized it. No, it's not happening. Them Jersey boys are gonna come down here and they getting cement shoes and they at the bottom of the river. They in the body bag. It's over. It's a wrap. I'ma say it. Guarantee. It's a lock. We going to the finals. It's a lock.
Red Bull ain't giving you wings.
It's a lock.
I wish I could have just got a screenshot of just that.
Oh, don't worry. It'll be a gift later. I'll download it. Don't you worry.
It's a lock. It's a lock.
I don't even have a shout out after that. You got anything, Ryder?
I was going to rant and rave about the 5-in-a-row lost Bears that lost in overtime after an onside kick and a big comeback, but I can't follow that. My shout out was going to include the battery, so I got nothing. Let it ride. I want the battery, Cleon. I want the battery. I will put it in my.
You probably gonna get it back because I'm gonna be real with you. It's probably I'm probably never gonna change that. I don't understand why it just ain't died yet. It's been beeping forever. Like it just doesn't stop. It doesn't just die eventually. God, the strength on this battery, man. This
turns out the battery's not dead. It's just Cleon's been living with minor to moderate carbon monoxide in his house for the last 6 months.
I mean, maybe the battery is just the friends we made along the way, you know. So.
I'm with Cleon. I agree with what you said. I'm glad you straightened yourself out because I was sensing a little fear.
Yeah, the boys in the body bag. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a lock.
All right.
I'm calling it.
So we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Cement shoes.
On the Den After Dark, of course, on Saturday. Mike will get it done. Hopefully about 45 minutes to an hour after the final whistle, and we're all done celebrating, watching our team lift the Eastern Conference trophy, which I don't even know what it looks like. I might have to go check that out. But
I do. It's just kind of just a cup. It looks like the USL Championship Cup.
It's just a very plain, just regular.
It's boring.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna still celebrate that thing.
Oh yeah,
it ain't the one I want. I want the one with the star.
I agree.
I want them all.
All righty, boys. Well, God willing, we'll see y'all, and we'll be back for one more preview next week. But show up, show out, and like I said, man, take in every second of this Saturday night because they don't come around often. So enjoy it. I'll see you boys there. Ryder, Mike, scream from your couch, and Ryder from the cruise boat. I'm glad you could watch it. And wear your gear, man, on the cruise boat, and
that's the plan.
You can get
I'm changing up my outfit for dinner. I'm wearing a purple.
Tell your mom,
Orlando City.
Tell your mom Saturday night you want to match colors every night. Saturday night is purple night. That's what we got to do. So, all righty, boys. As always, Vamos Orlando. We'll see y'all next week.
Vamos.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.